Today's story is a spine-chilling account from a Redditor who moved into a new apartment only to discover that they weren't alone. This tale is about the unseen tenant, a mysterious presence that made itself known in the most unsettling ways. Let's dive into this eerie experience. The story begins with a Redditor, who we'll call Alec, excitedly moving into a new apartment. The place was charming, cozy old building with character, and Alex couldn't wait to make it their own. Everything seemed perfect. First, the apartment was in a great location, and the rent was reasonable. But it wasn't long before things started to take a turn for the strange. At first, it was little things. Alex noticed that objects would be slightly out of place when they returned home. A mug that had been on the kitchen counter would be found in the living room. Books on the shelf were rearranged in odd patterns. Alex brushed it off, thinking they might just be forgetful or that perhaps the cat was up to mischief. But as days turned into weeks, the disturbances grew more frequent and unsettling. Doors that Alex was sure they had closed would be found wide open. It wasn't just the doors. Kitchen cabinets, closet doors, even the bathroom doors seemed to open by themselves. The feeling of being watched began to creep into Alex's mind. They started to feel a cold chill in certain rooms, especially at night. One night, things took a darker turn. Alex was lying in bed, trying to sleep, when they heard a faint whispering. It was so soft at first that Alex thought they were imagining it. But as the whispering grew louder, it became clear that it was coming from somewhere within the apartment. The whispers were incoherent, a jumble of hushed voices that seemed to be just out of reach. Terrified, Alex jumped out of bed and checked every room. But there was no one there. Just the empty space of their apartment, eerily quiet. They turned off all the lights and tried to convince themselves it was just the wind or their imagination playing tricks on them. The next day, Alex decided to do some research on the apartment. They discovered that the building had a long history, but nothing particularly sinister. At least, nothing that would explain the strange occurrences. They tried to ignore it. The whispers continued. Sometimes, they would hear footsteps when no one was around. Other times, they would catch a glimpse of something out of the corner of their eye, only to find nothing there when they looked directly. One evening, while Alex was sitting on the couch, they heard a loud crash from the kitchen. Rushing in, they found a cabinet door open wide and several dishes scattered on the floor. The sensation of being watched was overwhelming. Alex felt as though they were being scrutinized by an unseen presence. The apartment, once so inviting, now felt like a prison. Desperate for answers, Alex reached out to a paranormal investigator. The investigator visited the apartment and conducted a thorough examination. They reported that while they didn't find any concrete evidence of a haunting, they did confirm that the apartment had an unusual energy. The investigator suggested that the presence might be residual, a sort of lingering echo from the past. Despite the lack of definitive answers, Alex decided to move out of the apartment. Constant fear and unease had taken a toll, and they felt it was time to find a new place where they could feel safe and comfortable. As they packed up, they couldn't shake the feeling that something, or someone, was watching them, almost as if the unseen tenant was bidding them farewell. The story of the unseen tenant is a chilling reminder of how unsettling it can be to share a space with a presence that you can't see. Sometimes, the most disturbing hauntings are the ones that leave no clear evidence, only a lingering sense of dread.